Hey everybody, Shoebox Legends here. Thanks for joining me today for another buyback episode here on the channel. So, done a few of these now over time. One way back when on kind of the history of buybacks, and then recently I've just been doing some rummages. But suffice it to say, I love Topps buyback baseball cards. These are cards that Topps bought back from the public in some manner. I'd love to know how they did it, if it was eBay or Card Show or something like that. They stamp them with a foil stamp to designate them as a buyback, and then they issue them as inserts in products or box toppers over the years. So I'm going to do a rummage, have a big lot of them here in this 400 count box that I've picked up over time. These are probably not likely to be superstar players. They're just random lots, so I don't know, but I suspect there's a lot of commons in there. And then we will mix it up by adding some penny sleeve cards over here from the right box that I believe came in from ComC over time. And I'm just going to kind of pull and look at what we get for maybe 10 minutes or so, and then we'll call it a day for today. But before we get to either of those, I have one single buyback that I picked up on eBay. So pumped about this one, and this is going to be in contention to be in the buyback Franken-set for sure, because I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better card potentially at number 480. This is a Heritage Box Topper buyback. So you get one of these per hobby box. It's from this year's set, a 1973 Topps card, Juan Marichal. Check that out. Bonafide Hall of Famer and arguably the best pitcher of the 1960s. He's certainly a top 3 1960s pitcher in my opinion. Love these buybacks. Anytime you can get a Hall of Famer, a Heritage buyback like that. Got that for less than the price of a retail blaster, and not even the modern price of a retail blaster, but back when they were always $19.99. Can't beat it, and so pumped to add that one to the buyback collection. Whether it makes the Franken-set binder or not, I will certainly appreciate that one. So let's just start pulling some buybacks here. I've talked long enough. Certainly don't recall everything that's in these. First one we have here is a 79 Topps Frank Taveras from the 2015 Topps original buyback. And you can see when the light hits this that, yeah, your condition may vary. The Juan Marichal in the background there is actually pretty nice. I'm almost surprised they stamped that one. It's a little bit off center top to bottom. This guy is creased diagonally down the entire card. I don't care. Condition doesn't matter. I just think these are so cool that these cards went out and kind of lived their own lives and then ended up back at Topps headquarters and stamped up and sent back out. And this one's also kind of neat because not only does it feature the baseball cap under the batting helmet look, which you don't see all that often, but the Pittsburgh Pirates, of course, won the World Series in 1979, the year that card was issued. That was, of course, the We Are Family Pittsburgh Pirates championship team. And man, I guess I lied when I said the box on the left was going to be kind of boring commons. Check out this 1967 George Scott with my Boston Red Sox. Again, a 2015 Topps original buyback. There's probably a lot of these in here that I'm pulling them from, with the All-Star Rookie Trophy. And not just that, but the giant one when they used the actual trophy, not the cup, the smaller cup like they use these days. And similarly to the Taveras, while the Red Sox didn't win the World Series in 1967, they did make it all the way to the World Series during that impossible dream 67 season. That is just a killer buyback. It's beat to hell. I mean, look at these rounded corners. You got wrinkles, some kind of dirt or grime up here, but do not care. Beautiful card. And this will be a strong contender for slot 75 in the buybacks Franken-set. Rounded corners and all. Absolutely love that one. Gonna go ahead actually and put that George Scott right up here on the right. So two pretty decent ones to start us off here. I was expecting 1987 Topps baseball or something, but here's one that I know I've seen before. Certain cards, there's no available information that I'm aware of in terms of print runs or how many of each buyback were ever created. But certain cards, when you were into buying lots of these, which I was for years at a time there, you do recognize them kind of appearing over and over. This 79 Marty Patton with the KC Royals is certainly one of those, but pair of 79s there. I'm just kind of pulling at random here. Got a 73 Roger Nelson. Back-to-back Kansas City Royals cards here. That's cool. Love the 73 release. And to me, like, I know every collector's different and there's no right or wrong, but I like this more than like a 2022 Topps Heritage card on the 1973 design. This buyback is just cooler to me than like a Heritage base card would be, for example. So happy to scoop these up at cheap prices. Let's go into a different section of the box here. These have gotten actually sneakily expensive, I noticed. I mean, when I picked up a lot of these buybacks, was in the heyday of the buyback program, I would get a lot of, 40 or 50 or 100 at prices that broke down to like, 20 cents a card or 25 cents a card. Now I see lots go for pretty big money, like almost $1 a card or more. So I think there are some other buyback fans out there that are scooping these up. Here's a Manny Sarmiento with the Cincinnati Reds from the 78 Topps design. Shout out to my buddy Sean at Sean Stuff. I know that's a favorite set of his. The 78s. So yeah, as I suspected, George Scott aside, not pulling a lot of, big names or anything out of this side of the box. Here's another nice 73, Oscar Brown with the Atlanta Braves. Love that era of Braves uniform and cap. Pretty cool. Let's mix it up here and do one from the right box. And we got a 72 Frank Lindsay. Nice glasses there. And at one point I was just kind of scooping up any, 30 cent, 40 cent, early 70s buybacks that were hanging out there on ComC, regardless of who was on the card. Let's do another one from the right here. This one I grabbed because it's a Red Sox card, and this is a buyback that you don't see quite as often. It's from the 2016 Topps set. They did these 65th anniversary foil stamped buybacks. They're available in different colors. What I love about this one, and we seem to be on a little 73 run today, but I love that this is a red foil stamp, which obviously goes very, very nicely with a Red Sox card. So you can see not all my ComC pickups are like superstars, but I'll just grab any kind of significant ones I can find. Here's one from the 2014 buyback program. You can tell by the 75th anniversary stamp there. And I know that's super confusing. It's a topic for another day, but how could they have the 75th anniversary of Topps on the 2014 buybacks, and then 2 years later on the 2016 buybacks, they have the 65th anniversary of Topps? I don't really understand what's going on there, but regardless, there's a couple more. Let's go back into the cheapy box here. Another 79 and another Royal, John Wathan. Not much to say about that one, but we do get a nice look at the shoulder patch there, which is kind of cool. Features the facade of the fountain at, what is that, Kauffman Stadium? I may have that wrong. Just kind of going off the cuff here. And the Royals continue, and there is the very facade that I was just speaking of in the background. How creepy is that? Behind Marty Patton, who we're seeing for the second time in this installment as well. So this is maybe a sign that I need to move away from the left box here due to a lack of variety and dig in a little more into this box on the right. And we've got another Red Sox player here, another 78, Jim Willoughby, looking a little bit suspicious. Pull at least a couple more here. We're nearing the 10-minute mark. Here's another of those beautiful 72s, which I learned in my blogging days, or began referring to it as the psychedelic tombstone set. Love the 72 release. Nice Expos card here. Slapnuts is always getting on me to show more Montreal Expos, so there's one for you, buddy. Nice Expos buyback. Let's see if we can't get a superstar out of this box here. Alfredo Griffin is next, and it's very obvious why I picked this one up. I am foolishly working on a 1990 Topps set in all buyback format. So another one will bite the dust there. I don't know. I don't believe it to be actually a quest that's even possible at this point. However, I'm further along than you might think. So that's a buyback topic for another day as well. There's another 79 Pirates card, Don Robinson, and check out that cap and uniform combo. Of course, the Pirates were notorious throughout the 70s and 80s for having about 1 million different combinations of uniforms and caps and socks and everything else. So that's a very fitting card. And another Pittsburgh Pirates championship year buyback there. Another 90, Marcus Lawton of the New York Yankees. This has got to be one of the least memorable cards from the 1990 Topps release. Only a set-loving fan like myself would invest, the 40 cents in this one that it probably took me to bring that one home. Yeah, not exactly filled with star power here on the right. Here's a 77 Ollie Brown with the Phillies. And look at those sideburns and that scowl. The facsimile autograph is great on this one too, and it's placed in a really nice spot. Again, wildly off-center. Like, you can't get more off-center than this, but I just, it doesn't bother me with these. I just love the character of these cards and the history that, even though we'll never know what it is, each one of them certainly has a pretty unique history out in the world. Here's one. It looks like Steve Stone here is stoned on his 79 release, and that's quite a uniform there for the Chi Sox. If you took the word Chicago off the front of that and took his hat off, he looks like he's ready to go hit the disco here. Complete with chest fluffage right out in the wind there. So that is a very interesting photo on that Steve Stone. How do you think modern players would react if you asked them to wear a uniform with that collar on it? I think you would probably get a few objections to that. And wow, I just looked up and realized we're past the 11-minute mark, so let's do one more here. We're going to call it a day after this, no matter what. We got a beautiful 68 Topps, the burlap design of Chico Salmon. Sort of utility player for the Cleveland now Guardians, at the time Indians. Definitely an Indians cap and uniform that I don't think lasted very long, or at least is not super recognizable to me anyway. But we are going to wrap it up there. Oh, that is some terrible glare on Chico. Let's fix that. We're going to wrap it up there, and we'll put Steve Stone up here as well, because, he is just looking ready to party. And we'll call it there today. Got, obviously, as you can see in the background, plenty more buybacks to get through in the future. So I will probably turn this into a recurring segment. It's a pretty big part of my collection, and there does seem to be some interest in these cards. So definitely appreciate you stopping by to check them out today and spending a few minutes of your time here on the channel. And as always, I will be back in the very near future with some more sports card content. Until then, take care and keep enjoying the hobby.